There's a weird time for me to start recording. Sorry, I was talking about my AC. Second map. Centralize is a good one. I don't remember anything about watching him play against CRG. I don't think I was tuned in for that one. I do like the crunch though. This shit is always good. This is a really good decision though from Nova. Good flash. Really nicely done. I love this from Wolves, like this pistol. But I think Nova's decision making there was fantastic. Not necessarily a fan of that. I guess they were thinking that maybe one just rotated all the way around. Now these guys need to do something quick, and they are. I think that CB needs to chill there a little bit more. But at least you've seen both of them, so now you've got a good angle. Oh, he's got half. Don't stick it! Don't stick it! What are you doing? Oh my god. I can smash this over my head. He's like, yeah, I have time. Like, you had half. You just hold. Team Kobolds, no. But, like, I think we scrimmed Team Kobolds.
因为真的这边索尔，我觉得早松手1秒就不好说了。对，这边
he's free HP.
挨了2枪，然后再掏出了枪。没错。
Whoever loses this is out of playoff contention, right? Yes, pretty much. Oh, maybe actually because of the box position that he was on, he didn't want to get off of it and hold the angle because you could still see that he was on it. So actually, him staying on it there might have been. It might have been a 200 IQ play. It might have been a little bit like eager to just get the defuse. Yeah, retaking this is always a nightmare. So let's see. Like Nova don't have anything really to work with here. Defensive smoke just really awkwardly placed. Wingman going right side, doesn't show left, but you've still got Plix watching it. Attacking smoke. We kept Ryan to name teams he screamed, we'll keep narrowing it down. I don't know if it works that way. There's a lot of teams in Asia. Is the playoff race in VCT China still wide open, or do you think it's mostly going to be... It's still quite wide open. Quite open. Will you move to Asia for the team? No.
Nova 这套体系反听能力还是很强的，包括配合欧林欧的这个闪存过载，对吧？对，给一些顺。
Are we winning? It depends who you mean by we. As viewers, we're losing just as much as we usually do.
位置，因为 Spring 是 CB 来到这个箱子上面，好想吸这个球。他把队友也叫过来，他马上差1个点就有自己的再活一回了。
Does Riot choose who's getting hired for VCLs for talent? No, it's the individual TOs.
一则贴到非常靠近的位置，很关键的配合。再来一个暗眼，直接劝退。第二时间再补个烟吗？烟直接补上，哇！
Right, EMEA decide who they hire for tier 1, but also like the upper part of game changers.
这样子顶住了这分对方的一个清点。当然，对于他们来讲的话，Nova 其实是一个福利分了。来吧，走起！但是奶妈换到了另外一边。怎么过？他没闪的，只能硬拉。左边没收。克里斯已经想枪了，拉出来看到了一个巨人鱼波，给过来保一下克里斯，可以走出来。而中路 YU 带着爆弹器已经摸到比较深的一个位置，中路有个贵宾线行，所以不太好摸。强大市场嘛，看起来市场好像是最，但他们要等一下铁臂的技能哦。小肥的
Lost Spring turn through mid all together as market. It's a fantastic nade from Swirl. One peek is enough. Get off the angle, go on. Get off the angle, man. These guys are mental. Have you scrimmed an OCE team? Don't think so.
B 点实在有点勉强，最主要的是没烟了，他最后一个烟给中了，这样就意味着你过市场。
I guess he is chamber, so I should probably expect that a bit more.
一下还没墙，对吧？这墙是
I love the angle his ears on.
A 点的位置，捡了一把2.9的长枪。
He literally gets 2 more because they line up.
但是没烟，有点尴尬。
不过一个福利分，
Mostly Korean when narrowing it down, boys.
也是这
No.
长枪分。哦，光干嘛？
Actually, I don't know what region we scrim the most. I'd say it's sort of evened out.
来了，组装了自己的孤高火力。好，这个零点修探拿到了足够多的信息，而且我相信进攻方的狼队要非常的小心，对方非常有可能会。
It's not tier 1. I wouldn't be doing this if it was.
另外这边是刘拉鲁巴在进行一个默认，
这非要霸王硬上弓吗？没有人在控图，没。
Polvy needs help coaching. Yeah, he's not going to get that from me.
这就进去了一个很精准的冰墙，但对方的技能有点小兵之间一瞬之间被炸掉了，而且
Oh, they got swell for the smoke.
处理掉。特点位一则。
Also, why are we not adding in-game, like, showing on the UI if it's a kill for a smoke, or a kill fully flashed, or a kill fully stunned, or, you know, no scope shots with the op?
阿鲁巴并没有对赢，
2打3，今年有人 YU 的位置被架死，他不太好动。
但是他
Somehow CS did it first.
强，有块
Like, it's one of the few things that Valorant did not steal from CS what they probably should have done.
天哪！0-0，1打1。
It's not that hard to do either. Like, I don't know anything about it. I guess it has a lot to do with, like, the server and, like, whether it recognizes if a bullet's gone for a smoke.
起来了，我觉得他打
But, like, it's not as if it's, like, an assist where it can impact, like, performance. It doesn't affect your ACS or anything.
光转掉，我是没想到的。
很夸张。
Like, that would count as a kill for a smoke, I guess. But he still was able to see over it. But, like, who gives a fuck, you know?
中路其实阿鲁巴
I'm
被打死啊，把 CB。
immensely disappointed that the spectating experience for Valorant hasn't changed in, like, 2
这个
years.
爆能器的 timing，
就拍比比，他这
That
个
that wouldn't count as a smoke kill. In the sense of, like, through the server, it would do. Because you're shooting through a smoke.
焰火其实也可以玩莽的，对吧？一波提进去，毕竟他有个再起的保底。
But the bullets went through the smoke, so unless you could work out a way of, like, well, he could see the target,
一把明
and his view isn't obstructed.
一个第2枪位，已经进来了。
那这个爆能器应该是随便按啊，而且还有一个晚安焰火拉出来一枪空了。
这个晚焰火什么时候交？怎么交？
这个无敌超杀放生了，应该是不要了。
这个冰墙，但是我觉得已经够了，对吧？真的已经够了。他还有一个丢丢，这边还有一个冰墙，还有一个晚焰火。
This is going to 3 maps, isn't it?
这一般不是留个雷兹在点内吗？
I was feeling alright today, but, like, now I have to watch the fucking potential toilet bowl with 2 teams that I like that are just trying to make me dislike them. That's an amazing flash.
一则是收掉了 YU， 4打4残局，但是有晚焰火怎么办？晚焰火一炮收掉对方的留在这个出烟。
Nice, CB.
对方还在躲，还在绕。
No, okay.
残局的收。
Yeah, your average silver player just picking up Phoenix and just sending it.
这就是不死鸟的魅力啊！在近点这种有烟的情况下，他的闪
If they have a problem with the replay system, they probably have problems with synchro between client and server data. I don't know why I repeated that verbatim, like I'm going to be like, yes, you're absolutely right. I don't know.
只炸了一个很残的。
But like Valorant was built to run on a potato, right? So adding extra features on top of that
捏着，就是提在手里会更好。
probably isn't easy.
他被全摆了，他直接给自己脸上一个晚安焰火，对吧 ？CB 一定是没了，因为对手知道你开了晚安焰火的情况下，他不可能去拆一半那个爆能器。我相信应该没有队伍敢这样。
啊，我觉得心理上的一个博弈，但是
对，哎，
这 timing
这 Spring 是真敢，但他真把 CP 给击杀了，他走了，
还活着，但这把枪没捡到。
这已经很赚了。
有再起的，有冯春，小春冯春
OK，
缝一下。
I don't really understand how you can be caught with utility in hand as Phoenix.
这什么时候缝的呀？
他是缝了之后好像又被打了，应该是被打断了。
我一泽这地方胆子也大啊，他
Just got to have a meeting with my boss.
怎么说？这份可以掰一掰，但别那个人掰啊，别克里斯掰啊。
感觉得让 YU 来掰啊，YU 有枪的。
等一把，等一下铁臂的技能。
What's the reason I'm choosing Phoenix over Breach?
两个。
The ult, like the self-sufficiency.
打 A 点，而且有一把枪是名牌是可以捡的，过来准备给阵要打。
It's also really good because of the 90-degree angles. It's just good to like, you can get pushed on A, back out, flash to like protect yourself, but you can re-engage with those flashes as well.
有再起，真要交吗？无效命令已经开了。
哎，
再来对，一走。
感觉要尝试吗？
我觉得
他也交不了，
主要是交不了。现在哦呦，
交不了，
好脆的一枪。
这分也是相当有意思。
I do think that like Phoenix is a bit of an underrated agent.
所有人就这个
尬在这儿了。
对，在这
Like
边
I think especially now with Raze being nerfed slightly, and like Neon and ISO being options, I do feel like now is a good.
又被0.7上给扎了。
Like you're either fighting or you're not. Why are you there?
是
Just
非常到位的，对吧？他今天的几波角色
ready to send it.
技能的释放时机真的非常到位。他的 KO。
那不管怎么样，也是让 Nova 交出了一个终极技能嘛。在自己的存钱局，我觉得对于狼队来说是非常可以接受的。
CB 又再活一回了。这个方向，这是要清哪？
The still would have been great if the gecko. Well, actually, is there enough of a gap they wouldn't have hit the gecko anyhow?
CFBB 也很迷茫。
But like, what are you gonna? I guess right. Okay. So they're trying to do the whole DRX thing of just scale up here a little bit to make sure that they're not being pushed here to get the breach in this position so it can stun across. But that just took way too long.
位置很靠前啊，如果
And then the stun comes through, nothing happens. That's why Phoenix is good on this map.
因为 B 大你要反
That you can just be like, oh, I got pushed back by a breach flash. Haha, I'm gonna re-engage.
他丢了，把闪都丢了，然后这火也丢了，就告诉你我在这儿，你别过来。来了，
那你来了，
Like, he doesn't have any flashes anymore, so he has to get out. The paranoia is just not good. It's not great from Mizia, but it stops him from being pushed short, I
不
guess.
太好，而且他交了之后没技能。
More of like saving his own life than trying to set up a play. But Wolves have done well to just kind of bleed everything out of CB's Phoenix.
这分是很难提速的过来。
再活一回，哦，完又直接打掉，
被打掉了，这边有晕，不过打的是一个开大的 CB。
但爆点人太多了，现在这个爆点
The showstopper used too.
非常
Pretty sick.
一炮，索尔一炮双响，终结了这个回合。
我只能说，刚才在上帝视角来看，这两个人被轰飞的样子是整整齐齐，非常同步。
OK，
这一炮轰过来，其实我很理解，就是狼队的判断应该就是你的火男、你的不死鸟就是在这儿。
Wouldn't a Neon destroy Nova's comp?
哪怕你有终极技能，能把你这个点踩住，那你这个人最终
It could do.
但很可惜，这一波的提速并没有能够抓到这个不死鸟，反倒是把自己来到了一个很尴尬的位置。当然，我会觉得第一时间他们的
Just give Phoenix 2 mollies and watch his pick rate.
有点低的，但也可以理解，因为他们要。
I don't think I could deal with a Phoenix meta.
但我觉得他们在 A 大前点教了太多的技能，你看他们到 Elbow 或者这个 A 小的时候，他们已经没有太
The comp is actually relatively unusual. Gee, you think? Is that what he said? We first considered having 8 lives for this comp. We're not going to run Omen, but Clove for smokes. We have a KO, Phoenix, and Clove, so we have 8.
如果有铁臂的阵容，其实有很
Lives for us to fight non-stop. I thought it was really simple. If 5 people can't win the fight, we just fight with 8 people. Later on, we realized the range of Clove. Right, okay.
夹这个 A 小这个方向的一个决策，或者是你去打市场，利用铁臂的山崩地线帮助小春很安全的度过到点内，包括可以打 B 点的正路。
So they're basically just playing some like Zergling build.
因为如果你打 A 的话，其实说白了，克里斯
I mean, I think it makes sense for Nova because like you have more like bodies and more chances to take duels, but just less utility.
踩不下来 ，Elbow 或者 A 小你也很难去清。那这一分狼队又是来到了存钱局，无法正义。
但你想躲开 CB， 你要面对。
The thing is, it's like that whole reasoning and rationale. I don't think that's why they like are winning here. You know?
但这一分克里斯还是有预成的。
I think it's just that Wolves don't know how to deal with teams that run abstract stuff.
要清管后，一定是要被测到的位置。
Especially this iteration of Wolves, they're like, oh, we're gonna play something that's, you know, suits our style. It's a little bit kooky with the Sage, but it's still like used by other people.
非常到位，他这一分一个技能都没有。
Yeah, I mean, Wolves tried like to like fight this out to bleed all of the utility out of Phoenix so he doesn't have anything, but then they took so long that people just rotated.
见好就收。
Triple initiator bind. I like the triple initiator
抬
bind,
起来，手里还有
but I don't think it's too hard to counter.
摸到了这个很经典的这个台阶下的位置。
But you have to anti-strap the shit out of it.
还在打中路，转头要一个自杀，封杀，
Nice ace from Swirl.
直接锁。
The Swirl's so good.
天哪！
我的天哪，他第3个击杀到没看到人，直接穿墙收掉了一个。
太夸张了
Literally, this guy has been like maybe like pickup of China so far.
不管是 A 小还是中路，他直接转起来了。你看这一枪。
Oh my god, that third one on Aluba.
中路打掉最后一个 YU。
I mean, it is up against an eco, so it does take away some of the brownie points.
快呀，这一分。
而且是一撮子之内。
Respect my king Vukash. Yeah, but Vukash wasn't picked up the stick like yeah.
长枪局来看一下。
玩快的吗？这什么？直接穿烟一颗。这 ，Oh no！ 这样的话，小陈又倒了。其实狼队
道理了。
其实狼队之前也会出现这种。
This is just a comp that allows Nova to get their dicks out, isn't it? This is just like full dick out Valorant from them. What allows us to just diff our opponent?
这样的半线的，所以还是比较好进。
小纯跳进来了，过来惊雷卷地直接给过来，0-0被轰起来，但那个薄冰的位置稍微有一点乌龙，光是狙掉了 Spring。这个薄冰应该是克里斯丢出来的，但反倒是让队友轻。
Swirl's just gotta go with it.
影响调到冰墙上 ，Swirl。
There's like multiple potential angles that people could be on.
没有能够拼掉。
They're still just going. Nova are going so fast, even the stream can't keep up with them.
那这一分又是有惊无险，由 Nova 拿下。
It was an omen flash. Yeah, but like the space, it's so open. Like there's that much space and the paranoia hits like that much.
得给，因为不然市场这边你是争不到的。你这个惊雷卷就轰不到市场，给了玉成就算了，但是这个唯一能去包点后的位置给了一个薄冰。
对，这个有点尴尬，
有点尴尬，
有点尴尬。又是进入到一个存钱分，阿鲁巴一把英雄枪。我觉得
CB is a beast, but a different animal.
就像欧林
That's what CB stands for, complete beast.
说一下，慢一点，别急，对吧？之前狼队会出现这种，就是他中盘稳不住的情况下，他会出现一个一个出去送的这样的情况啊。现在一定要避免。
对，因为上一张地图哪怕输掉了圣安东港，但是你可以看到狼队打的是没有这么急的，
对，
他们打的都很慢。
次数用光了。
Again, I've hit multiple.
打 A 有不死鸟，而且不死鸟已经顶出来了。这里是带着一泽 ，CB 已经顶到了非常靠后的位置。这将是
I mean, at least Nova are punishing this too, like a cipher.
经典的一个。
Knife gets multiple, and then 2 people pushed up.
别说这走的位置离这绕后还挺远，一个
耶，
在逼
You got trip top mid.
去中了，
Door is closed, or is it? Yeah, it's
还
closed.
是要落入到对方的包围圈里，因为
就看
其
CB
实
敢动吗？动了，
其实这是一个围堵壁。
He just gets out. Good wall.
给了个玉成，
这走起的
You've still got people. Was it a Phoenix ult that's just used?
队友顶住了，光纤狙一个，而且过点位还在收过路费。
Yeah, he's over here. He ulted all of B main and saw nothing.
一波3杀落袋。
他这个给对手这种压制。
I think China become more into meta after the Masters in Shanghai. What do you think? This is probably the worst map to make that point on, but I somewhat agree, yeah.
那这分有一点点死亡冲锋的味道在里面，可以看到其实光没有受到太多技能的限制，对吧？他就是很舒适的去接到。当然这一分是一个存。
Yeah, all of the commander stuff are out of date.
比7的比分，这一分狼队你可以
The IGL for Nova is Olingo. The IGL of Wolves is Siufat.
就是中路的控制权拿不到，小纯又是这样走进来，但
离
这分对方
魂落地了。
没有。
You're just not allowed in.
阿鲁巴的位置，
阿鲁巴这位置一定是会被预料到的，他不太可能就。
They are moving like they're moving the KO around nicely. They've like taken this from Heretics.
狙掉一个，现在整个 B 点只有一个光，他能不能顶住 ？B 大的人要来了，这边给了一个闪全白。
哦，这个玉成还要这样放过来，他找这把明狙，一枪又是狙倒了。
不是知道明狙在后点吗？
再来一枪，头皮位没有打到，巨人余波给过来。
Why is he staying? Is Eco taking it?
来到1打2的一个残局，两个人都走 B 大过来打掉一个，但是没有想到还有人。CB 还是拿下了这个残局，8比3的比分。
这不死鸟也能打得如此。
He really was like,
一个问题就是
nah, I'd win.
会觉得狼队现在有点，就你对方处设防的感觉，但实际上的
He can't get out there. He assumed like he could have done because the Sage Soul didn't come in until later.
全屏蔽。
But he just assumed that somebody was on this angle. He just really wanted that kill.
考场外那个信号
He could absolutely just pull his knife out and just bunny hop out.
没有人往这个地方靠，也就是我们
He didn't need to stay.
其实，
而且
Nova 的防守是很薄弱的。
YU 这一下也很奇怪，
Especially there, like
是个邻居在这里，然后他还蹦蹦跳到，
Izzy gets the kill.
就感觉狼队，我觉得在整个上半场进攻环节可能不像图一的深寒东港
没有那么严谨，
对，没有那么严谨，也没有那么有节奏了。
It's hard for God to move. He'd have to drag his steel balls away too. That's it.
Nova 终结技能很多啊。
You know, like when you have the Odin, your walk speed is slower. That's just Guan like full knife running.
就是点位的信号，终于是来到中路了，但这是否有点晚了呢？他其实就我的意思是，你可以不打中路。
Remember when you said map 3? Yeah, I'm glad that it's gone this way, to be honest, because at least Nova have been fun to watch.
一炮轰掉
And almost kills YU.
完了，
YU 这无妄之灾啊 ！CB 又摸出来了 ，CB 今天怎么神出鬼没的呀？
他在 A 点有点孤独，你不来我这不死鸟怎么办呢？
啊，
我只能顶啊。
哇，这分又是一个究极绕后。
CB flanked again. He did.
这个前者是没有
防绕后的能力的，而且你可以看到铁壁在 B 厅，所以他们不太可能会转 A， 一定是要被扣。
In this case, is why you default.
这个 timing 有一点点差。
When are we gonna see you on the desk, bro? It depends where.
他只需要拖住对方的节奏就可以了，他不需要做太多的事
For
情。
Polaris, it hits him. It's so far away.
哎，但是这边给了个暗眼，一泽把自己的暗
You
眼。
know you're gonna be up against the op. Great stun.
光这一环还可以，这个山峰地线
Bit lucky to be alive, but
直接给上。
he's still here. He's like, take 2. Let's fucking go. Like, Plex, me and you, bro.
但后路两个人来了，后路
On this angle, it's an aim lab scenario.
没闪到人。
两边又打了一波1换1，正面阿鲁巴顶住了，阿鲁巴再转头，对方在勾引他，但阿鲁巴
Kind of feels like some of the
闲庭信步的风力和烟过来，
composure for Nova has gone out the window.
一个
Not that they had too much to begin with.
但是 YU 完成了一波反杀 ，CB 的话意思
1v1
传授到对方的
again.
盘踞给到阿鲁巴，
Luba 6 bullets. There's just not much time.
烟已经要散掉了。
阿鲁巴太关键了这一分，
他身位的控制。
Surprised we haven't seen any ISO from China yet. That's true, actually.
你可以感觉到这一分其实 CB 在阿鲁巴的身后一直在。就是腰战，你知道吗？他想把对方抠过来跟我打，但是
But yeah, for desk stuff, for Polaris for tier 2, I'll be casting this weekend and on Monday.
但是你也看到 Spring 玩的
That's kind of it. For EMEA, probably never again.
而且很多时候
This
都
rate
奇妙那种被击杀，打的有点难受。
那这分打完之后，上半场的比分来到了8比4。这张地图还是要跟大家
8-4 at half, and that's with Wolves winning the pistol, right?
排位可能有点反直觉，就是这张地图在赛场上来讲是一个进攻的地图，偏向进攻的地图，所以进攻方的分数正常来讲的话，拿个7分左右吧，我觉得是一个比较合理的分数。这里又是一个很
I really wonder how this comp's going to be on attack too.
提醒一下
8-4 on the defensive side when you have 2 duelists.
同时一定要注意健身啊，锻炼身体。
I bought the DRG one and
这张
Novas.
地图在 Stage 1总共打了12次啊，日落之城，然后进攻方胜率是58%。
很偏向于非常偏向于进攻的一张地图了。
对，
All gamers, Trace, BLG,
那个
FPX.
健身男越像
Well, you need EDG in there, right? Or is it teams that like we'd want to see, like CJ?
那上半场
Because yeah, at this rate, I wouldn't want to see EDG at champs, but we're getting them anyway.
到防守边，他们可能打的也不一定有进攻更舒服。说实话，他们因为这个阵容的原因，
We need a coalition of bald analyst casters.
他们的进攻的一波，包括他们对短就是
I think like we're the antithesis of diversity.
地图其实最
Straight white bald men, you know? We see enough of those about. We see enough fucking gammons out in the world. We don't need more on the screen.
解决
对，
也是很头疼的一
人家
个问题吧。
上不乐好歹还有一个贵
贵
宾限
宾限
行，对吧
不管？怎么样，他有一个东西在那儿，你又不能把玉成放那儿，对吧？这不可能的。
来吧，来到了下半场，那这样的话也是让狼队来到了一个
Wolves
比较大的分数
looking to crunch mid.
就是这场比赛对他们来讲
What China teams would you like to see in champs? I don't know. Like all gamers look great. BLG are on a tear. Trace are looking better. FPX are looking decent. JDG I love because of Stu. They look good. Like, top 6 for the stage 2 playoffs for China is going to be insane. And also, I'm on the front page for the first champs qualifying day on Twitch. So that's cool. Wow, one smoke, one like off-kilter smoke has forced out a lot of utility and a lot of noise mid.
但这其实也算一个常规位吧。
非常常规的非常规位。
Don't think Plick should have stayed there.
也被打掉，那这个爆弹机又是可以成功安置。
Good stun.
而且山崩地线给的有点早。
And they're just flooding in. I actually really like this from Wolves. Oh, the flash. The Phoenix flash, it must have been.
小春虽然打掉了一个，但是人数已经。
Did JDG qualify for playoffs? The chances are pretty much non-existent if they lose today.
这爆弹机一直不安了吗？哦，还是选择安了。 成功安置，而 Spring 已经绕到了市场的位置侧翼，手里一把正义，但对面根本不露救手宝典，
甚至这分就
3 teams that are most likely to win champs.
对吧？我觉得点那硬手就完事。
FPX, Heretics, Jinji, and then... Is it Wild to say Sentinel still?
看到了。
I don't know what teams are good from Americas right now.
有雷，但他不敢。
Genuinely don't have any idea.
后面好像看到了
一个低抛雷，怎么说拉出来一颗带走 CB 是掐灭了对方，这一小分翻过来的火种。
这一分狼队还是那个问题，他们在回防的时候技能给的太急了，就人都没到，给了山崩地线。
FPX is a hot take for me, bro. Not gonna lie.
确实就是。
I put them in top 5 max. The 2 teams that they got knocked out by went to 3 maps. One of which OT against the top 2 teams at Shanghai.
太关键了，包括他们反清中路其实也给了不少的技能。
那也是看到了 Nova 的一个。
They were a top 4 team at that event at least.
首将军胜率也是来到47%。
这是一个很经典的铁臂的站位，配合队友的双拉过来找。一旦你在这个位置，一定是会吃阵。但这个阵稍微给的。
They only played 1 week. It's hard to judge from them. That is very true. That's very fair.
掉了一把枪的情况下。 好像掉了。
Yeah, exactly. Like Extends, he's got the idea.
剩下4个人其实也都起枪的。
Do I think that they're like super amazing, could do no wrong? No, absolutely. They lost a fucking trace.
很少见，非常少见。不管怎么样，剩下这4个人战斗力是。
There's like at least 5 America's teams in the top 10 teams in the world. That feels cap.
颇有建树。
哦，这分狼队的应对是。
I'd accept 3, maybe even 4.
会觉得哦，回防的速度是比较快的。怎么说？
But you, I'd think saying half of the best teams in the world are from that region.
3个人选择绕后吗？3个人绕后。
其实是4面8方过来回防，3条路都有人。这里主动过来照，把克里斯打掉了。
I'm believing in the Phoenix.
活下来，顶不住了。对面绕过来，打了一波人数的置换，外右正义又是有所发挥。近距离21滴血。
He just has to ult to get the health back.
还能回一点血量。这么的话，小春这个地方有点难以突破。
CB 被打。
He gets sent back. Azir gets a trade off of him.
15滴血还能不能操作？时间已经不够了。
Yeah, Gecko flash.
他面临着还是一个交叉枪线、枪械优势、满血的2名对手。
YU 真的尽力了，但可以看到他的正义是真的有点吓人。不管怎么样，他们也是打掉 Nova 3把枪，对吧？对于 Nova 的经济来说是比较大的一个重创。
其实 Nova 是
I hope the Thieves just look like they're just in some weird like identity mismanagement thing.
马路中间架枪是很危险的。没来得及闪转。
And I think they're just broadly panicking with stuff. Like their bind comp is amazing. The way that they play bind is amazing. I really like their sunset comp that they had before, like the Silver Gecko. I think that's really like innovative and a good idea. But it just felt like they weren't fixing a lot of the mistakes that they were making. And kind of blamed it on the comp a bit. And then they started playing Fade. At least they tried that at Shanghai. And then they spanned it against Furia. I haven't talked about the rumor of existence of M80. I know it's not been going well for M80, but I don't think the existence is necessarily the problem. Like, what other coach can you realistically bring in to fix that team? A PM?
清点是非常厉害的。那这一分的话又来到了 A 点，我会觉得 CB 其实 刚才在 B 厅没把这个球控掉，蛮有趣的。还是5个人在中路，就他会觉得
在中路相遇了。
狼队现
I think that like Fade Gecko does have a lot going for it. It's just what a time to bring it out.
没有能够
Like maybe scrims weren't going well, or they were going well with the Fade and wanted to try it.
就很多时候你看一些队伍玩的太
Because he did so great with Cameron last year. I wouldn't necessarily blame it all on him. But yeah, you're right. Like it doesn't feel to me that there's a lot of good French-speaking coaches to choose from.
是的，一波瞬间的反清提速 ，Y 又是清掉了 CB。小道的位置是有一个单向的，哎呦，很灵活的身法。
I just think the quality of players that they have just isn't great.
两边机能其实都给
Like there's not many
环节。
哎 ，Y 又是在交了一
like French-only teams. Maybe they go international.
都能打一个而已。那这一分留下了4把长枪，这对于狼队来讲的话，还是一个比较好的下半场的开端。
对，非常好的一个消息。
Pay 1 million to Sliggy. Yeah, well, maybe you could just kick him out and bring in somebody like fucking Eric or Salah.
这分
Like,
当然相对来
there's
说，
enough coaches that are out of a job at the moment to choose from.
就是进攻方并没有去补充额外的过多的枪械。啊，下一分才是下半。
Maybe they're gonna get Barbine for next year. Who the fuck knows?
而且狼队在刚才这一分 A 点的这个回防的技能反清啊，给他是相当不错的。
还是人跟进。
EMEA is brutal with coaches, man. It feels to me like it's a cost-saving thing. I've said it a few times.
欧林欧也有自己
I don't think you get rid of Doombros because of the results.
CFIBB 这边还是没有拿到助攻，真的有点难受啊。
这个站位蛮有趣的，是给了一个 A 大的单向之后，中路是一个双人双架，小春一瞬之间秒掉对方2个人，
而且爆能机掉在一个也可以捡的位置，
已经赚到了
不捡
防守方，狼
直接
队
选择往前顶。
What happened with Salah? Got to be internal issues, and it might be the same thing.
这个位置近大远小，交叉张线过来，直接顶掉了2个人。阿鲁巴的步枪再次发挥，
I just think again, it's like maybe results.
3杀。
就现在很明显 ，nova 还没有读到对面防守，
Because vitality under him
回防这么快，很有可能
haven't hit expectations.
3A4A，他还
They've not. They've been good,
觉
but
得有点怪。
they should have probably attended one international event at this point.
然后这一分他们可能想着，我得来中路看看。
但我觉得这分打完之后，应该是有反馈了，对吧？有反应了。
对面中路人很多。
经典的结算动画啊。小飞。
I think the biggest problem that Riot have to deal with as of right now is to maintain that Orgs would still invest in their teams. Now that Valorant isn't necessarily the new flashy game anymore,
是。
the Orgs
来到了很经典。
don't just turn their like partnership teams into graveyard shift,
还是不信邪，我在
you know, skeleton crew.
人多不多？
倒车入库，但倒的有点大。给山盟地线，再给小皮过来，这个剑影走不出来啊。
OK， 这下应该是信了。不来了。
And like if I'm an Org as well, you're looking at esports World Cup, adjacent esports.
中路没有这个像探测技能的情况下，
哎，高兴的跳了起来。这一幕我见过，我卡叔也表演过。
OK，
给一个闪。
What's worse is the players weren't happy about losing Doombros. The Org should be doing something that's not in the players' interests. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where that decision came from personally.
就是太想，当然这一分存钱分嘛，我觉得过来刺探一下敌情。
That's why we need promotion relegation, in my opinion.
对吧？
而且他们中路是没有给任何烟的，
主要是刚才
就左右都没给。
Then you just get teams dropping out of
提前背身
Valorant altogether. They need that sense of security. Orgs are shitty like that. They were like, we're only going to be involved if we could be part of like a franchise or be like part of the system. And Riot's like, we'll do you one better. We'll make a franchise, but you don't have to pay. We'll pay you to be involved. So long as you make content, you know, keep up appearances and keep pushing free stuff. And the Orgs are like, okay. And then they're like, we can't afford player salaries. We're not going to basically put any effort in. We're not going to make content.
一瞬间只剩下 Spring 1
Everything that's gone wrong with esports is down to the Orgs.
开局20秒。
Greedy organizations.
Spring 有点难过啊。
这个长江局连30秒都没打到。
Like the esports, like winter is because Orgs overvalued their projections to venture capitalists, got a load of money, spent it recklessly, didn't hit the targets, and you know, the hens came home to roost.
枪口之上呢，这样的话，狼队的暂停也是捏不住了。第二个暂停叫出来 ，nova 还有手持2个常规时间。
I like Sideshow's take of every 3 to 5 years. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of this like partnership. I'm not asking you, Alexa. Please don't interrupt me. That's not very nice. Like, I agree. I like the way that Riot approaches it of just having the orgs like actively involved and be like, you don't need to pay anything. It's not like the Overwatch League where you spend that money and then you can go, well, we spent 20 million on this Overwatch League spot. We can not like pay people a shit salary. We cannot make content. We cannot, like, we paid the money. Like, you owe us, if anything. But this way around, Riot's like, we're in like full control. If you don't live up to expectations, you don't get the free money. You don't get the stipends. You don't get the business additions. And there are also bonuses for orgs to get when they do certain things.
非常的关键，而且他们的终极技能是都有的，上一分根本没有机会去开。对，那现在7比11比较落后的情况下，他们的经济。
But I think doing it every 3 to 5 years isn't enough. I think that's too much. 2 years I'd accept.
就玩焰火加上这个无敌超杀，对吧？有个定位，有个导航。 两个都教，还是想去运营一下。
但我现在怕的就是他们有点一有风吹草动嘛。
Riot gives extra stipend if you sign a stream in another region. Which fucking sucks for EMEA, right? Because like, why would you ever sign an EMEA streamer? Even like the European orgs aren't signing European streamers; they're signing like Japanese or Chinese streamers instead, but a different or like language base.
基本上就是一个稳死板。
而且对面是有再火一回的。
先把你的
玉成
全碎掉。进攻方 Nova 也是非常有耐心，光好像特别喜欢。
If a team isn't a good team, they should be trying to be entertaining, make good content.
是一种习惯。
Most of Europe doesn't care enough about esports yet.
相当于5比。
I mean, like Europe sucks just because of like all of the like Europe is. I don't know actually population wise, like Europe is similar to America, right?
他肯定是 A 点放一个什么 fake 技能，然后往 B 点去打。
Like it's not like America's population is close to like Turkey or that you pretty much have to compare like the USA's population with the entirety of Europe. But it's also North America as well, so count Canada.
那尬住了，现在又剩一个光，这把明区得保，真得保。就你现在考虑。
And then you just have all of the different languages. Like I was watching the EMEA like main broadcast, it had like 17,000 viewers, which is not great for a tier 1 scene. But obviously you have it in Spanish and Turkish and stuff like that.
这分其实我觉得还是就是赌点赌对了，就是因为你正面你少一个 KO， 你是缺点技能在里面的，对吧？你没有0点秀探，然后人进来直接被空中摘掉了。那 Nova 的话也是把第2张地图的第1个。
You know why Gentlemates have so many fans in Arena?
味道不太对。
I don't know. I guess it's maybe like it's not. Actually, no, that's horseshit. I was going to say it's not that far to travel, but it's Berlin is the other side of Germany, to be fair. Yeah, like France, Spain, Turkey.
他真的很怪，我觉得狼队的。
他这个赌点没有任何道理，就突然变成了一个5B，然后对面真的正好打 B。
很有趣的一个心理上的博弈。 而且从上帝视角来看的话，就 Nova 的 fake 反倒。
Thoughts on Gentlemate's new logo? I don't like it. I mean, either. I haven't really been watching this map. I'm sorry.
这个暂停叫完之后，我觉得，现在
I've just been finding this discussion more investing.
必须去慢打也打不进。那其实最简单粗暴，如果你想打提速的话，那你就给 CB 拿更多的前点的优势，对吧？你让 CB 去把各种球给控下来，你让他有更多的再回一回去尝试进点。
I do think that like KC and if I compare like KC and Gentlemates to like Vitality, night and day difference in like how they operate. But it is probably because they're like streamer orgs, so there's a more dedicated fan base. But I don't know. There's a lot of just like European orgs that just feel neutered.
这也是一种博弈啊！觉得你连续2分打我中路，没有拿到好的结果。
就是我知道他们这个教练组那个小本子上应该有挺厚的这个对吧？每一分的战术。
Number of stocks are super high. He'll be happy.
而进攻方这一分也不太确定对方葫芦里到底卖的什么药，这几个人到底。
I think he'd be happy for a bit, but then he'd be sad of just seeing his team still struggling.
他们也会觉得好像信息不太好拿。
因为他们这种拿信息能力真的很弱很弱，
对吧？也就只能指望着0-0和
Liquid management is also impressively bad. I'm just talking about how the org operates as a whole. And I think Liquid does a good job. Like, for one, they've sent Sliggy, and they've supported Sliggy on his, like, streaming career from day one. Two, their content on YouTube is really good. Three, they're working with Apex as, like, a two-team. They have a lot of content creators like Karagi, Jonas. They've ran tournaments. Like, one of the first TOs that I worked for in Valorant was Team Liquid's, like, open qualifying tournaments. You know what I mean? Like, Liquid are one of the orgs that, like, we'd be fucked if we lost Liquid in EMEA. Generally, like, I know all of the stuff with G2 was disappointing with Carlos and stuff, but like EMEA losing G2 to Americas is also a massive blow. If Liquid weren't involved in EMEA, let's say they go, fuck this, we're going to America. I mean, the org is fantastic.
这盘有点危险，就是虽然 CB 手里没闪，但是他跟队友要了个闪，对吧？这个闪还挺要命的。
The actual player management is cheeks, though. I don't think so. Like, I understand why people might be like, ML needs to go or there needs to be changes. But I like that Team Liquid have, like, given ML a... Like, I would imagine that, like, ML's time at Liquid is going to be sort of up after this year, depending on how they do. But at least they're like seeing him out. I even like that with Koi, that like Baba's not going to be there next year, but he's still seeing the rest of this year out.
3打3，小肥手里是有个惊雷卷地的，这个惊雷卷地不好惹。
这两个人站的位置是不是有点尴尬，有点挤啊？
Team Liquid isn't that bad. They don't kick players on a whim. Yeah, exactly. Like no team could do well if you're making those changes.
他这惊雷卷地其实也不急啊，我觉得防守方其实也不算特别。
Every iteration of Team Liquid has been mid. I would agree with that to an extent.
这个点儿 A 点的球，
I think building around the Apex roster of last year wasn't the best move.
但这个预程要没了。
But I don't think there was that many like good options. Well, actually, no, that's horseshit. Like, I think it was more. You have to do what KC did. You have to like build it piece by piece with a coach that has a certain vision on how to play. But if you do that for Liquid, nobody can be safe. You can't be like, well, we're going to keep Yampi, we're going to keep Nats. No, they need to be on the chopping block just as much as anybody else. If you want to build this Liquid team to be the best, I'm not saying that you drop those players entirely, but I think you have to trial them. You have to see if they're a good fit. That's my like personal like opinion of just let this year go if you're Liquid, and if you actually want to be like contenders and push, you've got to start from scratch to an extent.
我觉得光这个位置需要用这个山峰地线去限制一下。
You would need incredible scouting to make insane rosters. I don't think you do. I don't think picking up Ryans or Woot was like insane scouting. Everybody knew how good they were. 5 good players don't make a good team. You need something more. That is also incredibly true. Like, because where the team is trialing people at the moment, and like I've barely been looking at the kill score. And me and the IGL were talking about it yesterday. Of like, do you want somebody that's like a star player that can just drop 30 no matter what, or do you want like a coachable player? I'm like, I will 100% take a coachable player each and every time. I don't want like a duelist that could drop 30 every game that just tends to overheat and doesn't listen to like the calls or doesn't communicate stuff very well.
比较合理的一个决策，但问题就是这个光火力到底怎么去处理？我觉得好像完全没有办法去限制到光的发挥。
我觉得哪怕不是一个孤高火力，就不是一个狙在这儿，这个单向烟就够他们难受的，因为3个人都从这个。
Solution inside both twins as coaches just dominate the world. Well, they used to be on a team together, so yeah, like that would be cool to see again.
那这分打完之后，来到了3个赛点 ，Nova 有3个机会可以。
Because I think that they complement each other what they bring to the table.
目前对于狼队来说，也是来到了生死边缘。虽然他们的比赛还没有打完，他们的常规赛还没有打完，但是季后赛可能就无望了。打出来一枪 ，YU 先狙一个 ，YU 也曾经是一个非常不错的狙击手。 那这番这个首杀拿到之后，两边的节奏又突然慢了下来。不过其实对于攻方的 nova 来说的话，虽然倒了一个上伯乐，但是他们进攻的矛头依然还是全的，对吧？
而且 CB
And maybe Doomrush brings in like Shouser, gets us some duo like that.
已经渗透摸下来了。
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of roster moves this year.
狼队又是一个
I think a lot of players signed for 2-year contracts, I'd imagine.
这么一个情况。
Survive BB 小神威的 pick 拿
Did you stream DRG versus EDG? I didn't. I wasn't very sick yesterday, but I felt awful.
哎，掏技能，你怎么一直在掏技能
I still feel pretty bad today.
红砖的一泽给
Just
打
like
到了
bunged up.
在手 spring 已经到了，然后后的位
And
置
then waking up every morning, my ears just feel clogged because of how warm it is.
一泽的话抓掉了一个，好，
I watched the game though, yeah. I had it on my other monitor.
但是这个这分我感觉进攻方已经很难打了，因为在一起拉了一个人。
大鲁巴这边打过了，一泽已经拿到了一波3杀的，只有5滴血。
Yeah, I also saw the Sliggy streamed it, and the Sliggy couldn't do today, so I was like, I'll do today then.
也是拖不住了，还有小皮，小皮过来，
We're having a more of a comeback again.
小春啊拿下了最后一个击杀，
两边这一分打的还是有一点混乱啊。
好奇怪的 timing。
I do think that like teams need to bring in coaches that have like an actual vision of like, I don't know what kind of like
有点
发凉
vision for a team ML has necessarily.
额外的人去帮他看这个位置。
And for Eric and Navi, it was never his vision in its Angels team, you know?
Survive
小肥刚才一直在捏技能，他想去限制对方的近点，然后或者去抓不死鸟的落
don't
点，
give
或者
me
去就是把这个方向轰掉。
但也我觉得对他来说，对队伍来说也是个好消息，因为他精灵卷地没交。
啊
I did see the rumor of Chet leaving NRG.
没问题。那现在的情况就是这一分稳稳的拿下来，狼队。
The vision also isn't I want to win, it needs to be a lot more than that. Yeah, entirely.
而对于 nova 来说，他们不太想往加时去走，他们不想夜长梦多。当然，最具竞争力的一分应该是下一分。
Like, I'm not interested in coaching a tier 1 team, but I'd say that like my approach to thinking about a team right now is I don't want to just be like, we're playing this comp, these are the defaults, this is the shit that you need to like. I need the players to think about if they're playing certain agents, like what is required of them.
加上金牌猎头，
Because there's too many instances in the game. Like now, this is not something that you can necessarily like draft up in a fucking Valor plan.
在整个 B 点，包括市场都只有一个 YU 在看，只有一把明狙。他其实是有
When the teams get aim coaches, usually they get them independently, but some teams do.
位漏子也太大了。
I know that there's like Voltaic people have worked with
利用对方换弹的 timing，
SEA orgs.
能不能架住？人有点多，打了一个。
敲了一个尽力了。但
Do you think the changes in Ascension system is good for Valorant as an esport? No. I think it helps tier 1 and it helps the investment of the orgs at top, but it fucks over. I don't know why you'd be an org in tier 2 even bothering with Ascension after this news.
给过来，切了一个短炮过来的，
Unless your hope.
玩起来了。
We're going to do another OT, aren't we?
因为下一分两边必然是一个全技能的情况，
是，
但是有些好玩了啊，
没刀过。
Yeah, I
试一试。
the only reason why I think it'd be worth to like stay investing in Valorant
队伍对于这一场
is if you're gunning for a partnership spot.
啊，
跟图一的节奏还真的有点像。现在狼队追到了，只差1分就能将这张图2带入到加时。
这我的短炮是真没子弹了，是什么意思？
Nova came back map 1, yep.
常规时间的最后一个暂停，也是在第
Like, imagine how it feels for Apex. Apex dropped their CS team. They dropped their, like, Rocket League team. The only investment that they have in esports right now is Valorant. And they find out, in a year where they are dominating within their domestic region, that, yeah, this investment that you're working towards, we're effectively halving it.
然后再起的话，应该是好不了，因为再起其实应该上个回合，前几个回合都交了，对，应该没好。
And I also think you're just going to get more of a shit... Like, the problem with the Ascension teams was the roster moves that they made in order to stay relevant. Like, Bleed had to make roster moves, but they didn't need to... You couldn't have more, like, Ye being picked up for Bleed instances this year.
你要撞到我堵到这个点，就是铁板一块儿，对吧？你别想进来。然后回防的话，我也是个全技能，因为你进点。
It was incredibly fucked up to change it mid-season.
那我感觉如果真的非常聪明 ，nova 的这个转换速度很快。
Ascension changes better for free agent teams and orgs. Yeah, so basically all of, like, the it's gonna become a bit of like a fucking nepo baby trust a fundigan sport, where the only people that can afford to try and play for tier 1 are the people that can be free agents and just play as that and not have to worry about earning money. So what I'm saying is that global, the Valorant, like Riot esports team is classist. This is what I'm saying. Any chance of Karl Marx's ghost watching VCT is gone.
有惊雷卷地的小飞，有惊雷卷地的
可枪没磕
小
过，
纯，阿鲁巴、克里斯
全
各
打。
打一个惊雷卷地轰出来，小纯直接
Leo Farrier hates both people. Oh no.
要反杀了，不过还好有阿鲁巴的补枪，这是怎么反杀的？
因为第一时间他没看到人在右边，
但这个
Right, huge capitalists. To be fair, right are a business.
米高，然后
Like,
又被黑到了。
Capital is in their interest. And I don't think it's a... Like, I am sort of joking here. I don't want us to go on to a fucking tirade against Leo Farrier specifically. Like,
讲道理呀，
太夸张了。
but one thing that I'm
在整个
very passionate about, not only in esports, like, I want people from like working class backgrounds to have like opportunities that I've had, to be able to go into being a YouTuber, to be a streamer, to like actually have those opportunities, and for like kids to grow up from like working class backgrounds to know that they can be YouTubers, they can be streamers, like that there is a possibility there for them. Because there's people like me. I don't need to be fucking like ninja side. I'm just somebody that's done this for 10 years. And I want kids to grow up and go like, you don't need, like with music, you don't need to go to fucking Brit school to be a musician. Like nowadays you do. Nowadays you need to go to private school and go to acting schools and all that shit in order to get to the, like to be a top tier actor.
想要打断，
And you've got the UK and shit like really shutting down a lot of the arts and creative sides of
头就一颗
teaching and learning.
凤强，凤强，
这爆
I hate that.
我的天哪，克里斯，
克里斯那么多次
I wouldn't say I'm like vocal about politics,
踩的冰
but like
墙。
that's like I would love to work more with stuff like the British like Esports Association and also like universities teaching esport. I know that there's generally a very like strong opinion against them because it's a waste of money, but let's be honest, higher education of university is a waste of money anyway at the moment.
就4个人抱团打回防，
Because the lie that we were told of like, yeah, if you go to school and do really well and you go to university in a field that you enjoy, you'll get a job. Bullshit.
队友还在断，但是谁漏了一下脚步？而且这还有一个会兵现形。讲道理，2打4的残局有点操作的可能。
Like BTEC, like I did BTECs at school for like media and ICT, music, stuff like that.
主动的往前顶。
And they're getting rid of BTECs, and like they're genuinely some of the best things that you have in school because they're super practical.
先确定后面没有人，正面只能交给克里斯，克里斯一个，交给了 YU 一个1打3的残局，而且鲨鱼也是直接放生。
But I
没有任何
mean, I'm getting completely distracted from like what is an insane OT.
37滴血，一枪就倒，对方组成了枪林弹雨，没有太多的办法。
Might be Nova winning it again.
那这一分也是由 Nova 有惊无险的拿了下来，压力再次给到了狼队。
这一分的防
But like I
其实前面
we always go into that sort of period of like where people like, oh yeah, don't do an esports degree, it's not worth it and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but like the reason why it's not worth it is the people that are involved in a lot of those esports degrees aren't involved in esports. So you've just got like a sort of normal teacher doing those things. So let's make it worth it by having actual esports people involved in like
封的都
I,
是
like, I would 100% be down to teach stuff like esports at a university. You know what I mean?
狼队把加时的暂停叫了出来啊！我们的常规时间是各有2
And I'd also love to learn more about like how esports functions on like the org side and stuff like that.
获得一个可以在加时的暂停。
My mentality is like, if you're going to go to university, just study that something that you enjoy.
杀金啊，
Don't think about like how good it's going to be to get you a job. It doesn't matter
压力真的很大啊。不过不得不说 ，Nova 下半场的防守，
because you could go and do a degree in something that you're not interested in that can get you a job, and you still might not get a job because everything's
都
fucked.
是效果非常明显的。而对 Nova 来说，能不能够利用这个加时，马上快刀斩乱麻，赢下这场 BO3 的胜率，保护他们季后赛的一个希望，就在这一分。
How have I come back to another OT? I don't know. What was it? 8-4 at the half. I do think that like Nova are incredibly streaky.
28杠18的数据。
Oh my god, these fucking
而且
spam bots now.
助攻也是全场的最多。狼队这一轮的防守
还要打提速吗？但这个提速其实非常危险，这是一个丢丢加山崩地险。但是有一个问题，就是你这地方可能补不到枪，拉出来贴近点，晕了。
Wasn't it 10-4? Yeah. No, it wasn't.
那两个人在
Because they didn't... I think they lost the pistol and then the bonus.
直接放掉。
因为进攻方其实来的也没有那么快，他的主角斗也是被打掉了，两边雷子做了一个兑换。
技能给了。
Yeah, I think one thing that I would say about like Leo Ferry specifically, purely speculation-wise, I think, you know, like in Fable 3, where the main like antagonist is like your brother that's king, and he's a bit... But it turns out that they're basically like holding back the darkness and the evil. That's kind of what I think. I think like people will be like, let's usurp Leo. And then it just turns out that he's actually holding back something that's much, much worse. I don't always agree with Leo Faria, but like, I understand why he makes the decisions. I think just generally what he needed to do was stop tweeting. And he did, to be fair.
其实还是比较危险的，因为两边都已经打的没有任何技能了。
对，他们是把其实进攻方虽然他是一个劣势枪位，但他其实已经把那个口子站出来了，对吧？他不是 pick 出来的。
哇，这一波反击打的还是相当。
But if you're like unsure on him, like I think the plat chat thing that they did was good. And I would love something like that again to talk about tier 2 for next year and the ascension changes.
中路，这份想打中路。
Because like having that rationale is always useful. Because it's easy to disagree with some right decisions made, but at the end of the day, for one, if a question seems obvious, like why didn't they just do this and that instead? If that question feels like it's an obvious question, then it is an obvious question. They probably looked at it and went, we can't do that for X, Y, and Z.
看一下市场的位置，还是狼队占据优势。这边建议直接过来，好像有意识到，直接给了。
Oh my god! Zia just walks through the like side of the wall. 2v2. V1 and the space left in market.
一个人在 B 打的位置，这边光的明居是在直架的，爆能机是掉在了市场的位置。两个人抱团，而且 CB 是有2颗闪。要等一个山崩地陷，骑马。
What was that wall? I don't really know, actually. I think he was just trying to give himself a bit of a different angle, but ended up fucking him.
小市场的窘境，怎么说？小肥，知道关键。
Riot might half bake a lot of ideas, look at new agents and maps. Half the time it looks like they were never play tested. You gotta remember, like, this is what they said since day one. They could do all of the playtests in the world on Clove, on Abyss. Let's take Abyss as an example. In the first hour of Abyss being playable, that map got played significantly more than the months leading up to Abyss being launched.
这一分的话，又是由 Novo 拿了下来，感觉就这一分其实
like you can play test something for a long ass time, and you'll still learn more in that first day. Stuff just gets missed.
右边的人就 A 小这边附近的人给摘掉了。但这一分其实我觉得前面包括站到市场之前，其实打的都是还不错的。但就是市场打。
Prime example where they made a terrible decision and the fix was obvious. Yeah, but like the fix was obvious, but it doesn't mean that it's not complicated. Because the point that they made of like they don't want it for like they don't want the guards players to get in. No matter what, and then it becomes a bidding war for which org they go to because they don't want to sell those spots. So what I think they ended up doing instead, I have no idea, this is just me speculating, but they like did a vetting process. And they made sure that it wasn't a case of like the guard players went to G2 because G2 were like paying better.
可以拖比较久的一个时间。
光明局推出来，但是有个单向盖在脸上。这
I think it comes into like, well, G2 have been involved in Valorant from the beginning. They had an Ignition event. They have a Game Changers team. They made like good content. We know them from LEC, and so we know their like monies and their financials.
不太想站在那个死角里，因为上一次这个死角吃了太多的技能
用
了。
光了。
CB 差一个
这把明
点，
狙狙掉了一个，而且这样的话，YU 就很尴尬了。YU 的位置没有地方站了，被对方清剿掉。克里斯知道四人有人，
再活一回被打
再活一会儿还要再死一次。克里斯
Oh my god, it's just a brutal 1v1. Guan needs a gun.
给到光，给到95 baby。95 baby，
The spike has been left here. Is there an aftershock? There isn't. There's nothing.
只能架住这个死角。
CUFA is just now 50-50. What side?
看到了，这边是无甲的，
光跳看，两边的血量都不是
Nice shots, Guan.
一剑锋。
I mean, we were completely yapping about different stuff throughout the end of that map,
对
but
手
good work from Wolves
今天这场
means that effectively their champions run is over.
比赛，而且图一是非常大比分的一个翻盘。
But yeah, I
上半场拿到了足够多的优势。
it's been 2 and a bit hours and we've only played 2 maps. If that went to a third map, I'm just putting fucking
还是没有能够完成。
what's the thing that Bren watches with like the fruit? I'm just putting that on for an hour because I think that'd be more pleasant to watch. Cocomelon, yeah. We're just putting Cocomelon on. Like, I can't deal with series like this. I just don't have the patience for them.